Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Success Mindset with Puyaganyan. Yes, that's me, your host, Industry Hall of Famer, and I'm excited to share with you another episode this week. Thousands have asked for me to make this content available to the public, and now you're getting it. I'm sure, like always, your mind will be blown away, so lean in, pay attention, and let's grow together. Who's ready? All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I hope you're all having a fantastic week and month so far. Tonight's topic is going to be a little pressing on some subjects that I'm just going to invite everybody to have an open mind about. So, because what I'm going to do is share some philosophies and share some mindsets that are either going to apply perfectly to the situation that you're having right now in this moment, or for some of you where you've got to, not maybe apply it to your business now, but perhaps it's going to be important to apply at some point in the future. And I can say that there's times over my 9.5 years that I've gone through the ebb and flows, meaning the ups and downs of business, just like I have gone through the ups and downs in every single other area of my life. And some of you are in some massive momentum phase in your business, and you are experiencing strides, you're experiencing volumes, you're experiencing new brand partner enrollment numbers that you've never experienced before. And as a result, you're having rank advancements and the highest checks you've ever experienced. A major, massive kudos and shout out to you, because you are seeing the fruit of the labor you've put in over the last 30, 60, but mainly 90 plus days. Then there's others that are experiencing maybe the drier season, the summer season of their business. And I want you to know that that is not a permanent season that you go through, and that it's not just a season that you're experiencing, but a season that other people experience as well. But the reason I bring this up is that you understand that regardless of whether you set a goal and whether you hit it and or miss it, there is absolutely no failure. There's only learning. One of the things that I got from my time working with Jeff Olson, but also Tony Robbins, was that whenever I set a goal, whether it was to make, let's say, $1,000, if I got to $600 or maybe let's say $700, truth be told, I didn't fail that goal. Sure, I missed it because I didn't get to the $1,000, but in my eyes, I got 60 or I got 70% of the way there. So in my eyes, not only did I make progress, but there's now an opportunity for me to look back and ask, what did I learn from that experience? How did I show up? How could I have shown up better? What were the things that got kind of like maybe in the way? And then what are the things that I can do to prevent that from repeating in the size in the future? And that's where I've kind of trained myself to have this mindset that I'm constantly trying to solve a challenge, or I'm constantly trying to resolve a problem that may show up. And I remember a mentor of mine saying that the size of your paycheck is determined by the size of the problems that you solve. So if you find people coming to you and they're not maybe getting the results they want in their business, are you able to get in there and dissect and ask the questions and figure out what are the things that are preventing and what is the solution for them forward? One thing that I can assure you, I know that there's nothing that can show up in our way that would prevent other than a sour mindset, right? So it's how can we not look at things as a problem, but how can we reprogram the word in our mind to be a challenge, right? And every time a challenge shows up, you get better. Just like when you play a video game, the higher the level, the stronger the devil, right? The stronger the challenge is going to be in that situation. So as you go through your life, as you go through your job, as you go through your home life, understand that these challenges will show up, but how do you learn from it? But then also realize, accept, celebrate, and praise the fact that you're actually growing from it. You're becoming a better version of yourself as a result of it. Now, on the contrary, I can promise you, you're going to find people that are going to join your team who are also going to find ways to bring all of those challenges to you as well. And I guess the first piece of advice I'll give you is do not own people's problems, AKA challenges. The reason I say that is because if people feel that they can always come to you with that problem without you being permitted to provide them a solution, what's going to happen is they're always going to do that. And what you want to do is to reinforce them, to provide them with their own strength, so that way the next time something shows up, they can come up and be resourceful with a way to resolve it. So I hope that's resonating in the way that I want it to. And I've said it again, and I'll say it again. The only way to fail in a business is for you to be able to quit. What you have to do is to learn to discipline your disappointments, because truth be told, they're going to show up. You're going to disappoint yourself because you're going to go on vacation and you didn't follow through with the personal development like you wanted to. You're going to disappoint yourself because 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, you might not hit the exposures or the follow-up or the number of parties or samples that you committed yourself to doing. I can assure you that I've experienced that too. I have an RPM that I was supposed to accomplish back in August 31st of 2020, and I even put or sooner. I sure did a fantastic job of disappointing myself, but here's what I did is I disciplined the disappointment. I learned from the mistakes. I learned what I could do different, and I put things in place so I don't repeat that same mistake as I march forward into the accomplishment of my new ones. And that's where you also have to understand that there's these seasons of plateaus that happen. And a part of me almost wants to say that plateaus are to be expected, right? Dabblers are going to quit at the first sign of a plateau, but that's where you need to do everything within your power to push through, to power through, because that's where you get the breakthrough, right? I remember several times over my career, and I'm not just going to say that this happened maybe 3 months ago to 6 months ago, but I can repeat maybe 2 years ago, I can repeat 4 years ago, I can repeat to maybe 8 years ago, where there's multiple times where I just felt like I was stuck and I felt like I wasn't getting the traction, or I wasn't getting the movement, or my team wasn't doing what I wanted them to do. And I got to a place where I started realizing that plateaus are to be expected, but that's when you double down. That's when you put your head down, blinders on, and you do the things that you have control over, which is your activity. I don't have controls over whether somebody signs up. I don't have control whether somebody purchases product as a customer. I don't have control whether my new brand partner or my existing brand partner takes action. But what I do have control over is getting my 2 exposures a day. What I do have control over is doing my 3 follow-ups a day. What I do have control over is reading my 10 pages of a really good book every single day. What I do have control over is following other people that have the results that I want and copying and mimicking some of the posts that they're putting up that's getting them the results I desire. Again, that's where you put yourself in a place of resourcefulness versus being in a place where you lack resources. You know, it's being in a place where you're committed to the outcome, you're committed to your why, you're committed to your desires, your goals, your dreams, your wants, more than you're committed to perhaps the excuses that are going to show up. Because I can promise you, my mind has been flocked with them over the summertime. I live in Orange County. It is the most perfect summer weather I have ever experienced in the 21 years that I've lived here. You know, I live 5 to 10 minutes from the beach. I'm yet to take a vacation that I want during summer. I'm complaining, right? Woo-hoo, or, you know, poor people around the world, right, with what they're going through. But guess what? There's still a white hot burning desire that's in front of me that keeps me committed to why I'm doing it in the first place. Because I could use all of those reasons why not to do my activity, but instead I stay committed and I honestly show up in a place of gratitude every day. You know, my parents immigrated here from Iran, so I'm like a first generation here. So I have a very first hands-on experience of why I need to be grateful for the opportunity and the abundance we get to take advantage of. But understand that that opportunity and that abundance could pass us by like it does so many people all the time. You know, the opportunity knocks on the door, but are you there to answer it? And it's a door you have to answer every day. It's an exposure you have to get every day. It's a follow-up you have to do every day. It's 10 pages of a good book a day keeps the bill collectors away. And understand that there's going to be hurdles. Not everything's going to go as your plan, right? And I hope there's a peace in knowing that that's to be expected, right? Walt Disney went to 300 banks and got declined 299 times before the 300th bank said, you know what? Let's give birth to the concept of Disney. That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't exist in today's world, right? I've had people that signed up and have joined the witness protection program, like I'm sure many of you people have as well. I've had customers who said, yes, I'm ready to go. And by the time I was ready to place the order at nighttime, they were already having cold feet and buyer's remorse, right? So the same experiences, the same hurdles, the same, maybe obstacles that you go through, I can assure you other people, they too have gone through all of them. The only reason they got to that next destination is because they showed back up. They knew it wasn't a permanent problem. They knew it was a temporary challenge. Martin Luther King says that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in moments of challenge and controversy. What I've learned is that the very things that used to challenge me the most is where my greatest gifts were. What challenged me the most is what put me in a place to evolve significantly in a short period of time. I was afraid of, talking to strangers and getting my cold market exposures. It built a resilience in me that allowed me to have more comfort speaking in front of people, right? I had this fear of what people would think of me and, how they would judge me when I was doing my in-home party 3 weeks ago. But because I heard the fear and I powered through it anyways, the party I did this last Thursday, walk in the park, right? You would have thought I've been doing this forever, which I have been, but still, it's the comfort that came back right away. It was a muscle that needed to be flexed all over again. So if there's something you fear, if there's something that holds you back, if there's something that you're like, gosh, I just don't know how to do it, my encouragement is that you press on. My encouragement is that you power through, because that's where you grow the most. You may have heard you've already earned the most money, you've achieved the most happiness that you've achieved or are going to experience or attract living inside the comfort zone that you're living in today. My invitation is that you step outside of it, right? My invitation is that you do something that makes you sweat. My invitation is that you do something that maybe you haven't done, because the fear of doing it goes away. And it's that pressure where we grow, right? Diamonds are made under pressure. You're that diamond in the making. And I, in no way, shape, or form, have grown and achieved my ultimate being of who I'm going to be, because I know there's another level of who I am supposed to be. I know there's another level of fear for me to break through. I know there's another layer of the onion that I can peel back, so that way I can understand myself and, more importantly, define who I'm working into becoming in the future too. So you are your own problem, but I want you to know that you are also your own solution as well. You wouldn't be showing up had you not had the desire to grow, had you not had the knowingness that you're worth more, that you want more, that you should give yourself permission for all of that as well. And know that maybe you know where you want to go and your business isn't where you want it to be yet, or maybe you were in a better place and it's not where it is, where right now is. Guess what? What goes up must come down, but what goes down always bounces back up, just like the stock market, just like your heartbeat on the EKG, right? It goes up, it goes down. The same thing applies in a sales world type of business. High five to all of you for being here, because there's a ton of problems in the world. And what I've learned, having done what I've done, that the world is addicted to problems. It's the biggest addiction out there. But again, I repeat to you, it's not that you lack resources, it's that you lack resourcefulness. The only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story that you keep telling yourself about getting it. Oh, I'm too busy to accomplish that. Or who would listen to me? These are all stories that we tell ourselves. But the truth be told, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And if someone else did it, so can you. If he did it, so can you. If she did it with that many children and that type of business and those commitments in that small of a town with being bedridden or being 80 plus years old, if those people can do it, so can you. But it's having that belief, but it's almost having that knowingness that it will be done. And being okay when the wind shows up. Guess what? The plane takes off against the wind, not with the wind, right? If you heard Shalon Murphy on a leadership call not long ago, she talked about these trees that they put inside of like a contained container where there's no wind. And as the tree began to grow, it would snap in half. And they did research and they figured out it's because the wind, the tree trunk needs friction. It needs something to push against it to make it stronger. So as that person says no and they quit, guess what? That's making you stronger. As you go and approach that person and you offer them a birthday sample and they say no, you're getting stronger. If you're showing up thinking that I'm too old and I can't do this, and you do show up and you do it anyways, guess what? You are getting stronger. And you can't get frustrated in those moments. It is what it is. And the important thing for me to figure out is what to do about it, and not to spend my time moaning about how I wished it were different. So, I've been watching The Crown, in my like dead empty time at nighttime. And it's been a show interestingly enough, have found interesting, even though most find it boring. And I heard Winston Churchill inside of there saying that success consists of going from failure to failure while still without losing any enthusiasm. So how can you go from a failed mini mixer to a failed maybe virtual results party to a return product cancel or product return order to a brand partner or 2 or 3 maybe quitting without losing your enthusiasm for your goals, without losing your enthusiasm for the dreams and wants that you have for yourself? It's going to be the same way in your health. You can't go to the gym and do the workout and expect to see the results that day, that week, sometimes that month. But what you have to keep in mind is the end picture of why you're doing this in the very first place. And yes, this, devil is going to show up from time to time. I have it too. We all have this dark side, just like the moon does, right? But what you have to realize is just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not going to show up. But you have to understand that there's these different sides that are going to make you stronger, but that you need to have the needed things to be prepared for it. I call it the remedy, right? What is the remedy? What is the thing that's going to get you back on the horse, that's going to bounce you back faster than it did the last time? I know for me, when I do my personal development, it fixes the 6 inches between my ears. When I look at those elements, it pushes me to strengthen those areas of weakness for myself. And what I do often is I have a real talk with myself. I get a checkup from the neck up. I ask myself, I do the be real with myself test, which is, what have I wanted to accomplish? Sometimes when I look at myself and I'm frustrated and I feel like I don't have the zest for what I'm going after, a good question to ask is, what are you trying to accomplish in the first place? What is it that you're going after? Why are you doing this? Some people get started in this business because they want community. They want fun. And guess what? You can't show up to these calls and be frustrated that you're not accomplishing more when you haven't grown up from the first goal and want that you wanted that you've since accomplished, right? So a good thing to ask yourself is, what is it? Why is it that I'm doing this? What is it that I want to accomplish? What are these activities working towards? Another great thing for you to ask yourself, and this is the be real with myself test, is what's held me back from accomplishing it? And as you start listing out all these reasons why, and this can be a homework assignment for you to do for yourself, make a list of all these reasons why you haven't accomplished it yet. Funny thing is, if you filter which ones of these fall between a mindset issue versus a how-to issue, chances are, like it is for most, 80% of the things that you wrote down would fall under the mindset bucket. It's your belief, your lack of belief, your mindset, your philosophy, something that falls under that realm 80% of the time. 20% of it is the exposure, what to say, how to do it, how to host a mini mixer at your house, etc. You show up to enough trainings, you'll get all of that. But are you doing the things to make sure you keep this strong inside your mind? No matter what you have done or what you've done to fail, or maybe you failed or feel like you failed in the past, at any moment, you can decide to draw the line in the sand here right now on that previous life, on that previous health, on that previous body, on that previous relationship, on that previous business, on that previous team of yours, okay? And what you can do is you can make the decision, this is going to be different going forward. I am going to be different going forward. They don't have to be the same. Things that have happened in your past, those I can't change for you, right? But your desire to be something more, to do something more, to experience, to have, to contribute, to help, to be something more lies in the desire inside your mind. There's facts, then there's challenges. Fact is something that just is. It exists. It's in most cases unchangeable. Your age, fact. Your height, fact. Your weather, fact. Depending on what beliefs and conspiracies you want to start having in, we'll call it a fact for now. A fact is something that cannot be changed. You can't wish it away. A challenge is something that you can do something about. Like time management, like talking to more people, like hosting a mini mixer so that you get better at it the next time around. These are all things that you and I have control over. It takes two people to keep someone in jail, the prisoner and then the jailer. When you let the prisoner out from jail, what you have to find is that there's something within him or her that needs to be set free as well. It's like the elephant. You know, they get the baby elephants and they train them for the circus. From when they're baby elephants, they put a chain around their knee. They nail that chain into the ground, and that elephant's too weak. It can't pull it out. And it becomes of the belief as it gets stronger, and it can tear through the entire place. But because it's on its chain, on its leg, it starts thinking that it can't when it's stuck to it. What limiting beliefs and old stories and what prison and jail have you been living in? And how can you begin constructing for a future one? I know for myself that, you know, there's books like Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell that have made a huge difference for me. 3 Feet from Gold, Napoleon Hill, fantastic books that can help you do that. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, again, powerful way for you to be able to go out there and do that. And I can assure you the same challenges and things that hold you back are the same things and limiting beliefs that I experienced as well. I was feeling in a little bit of a rut. I was feeling like I wasn't getting the results that I wanted in my business. I had a plan on what I wanted to do and how I wanted to achieve it. And I started to say, you know what? If I wanted my team to do this, I need to do this first. If I want my team to have mini mixers, then I need to have mini mixers. So as you could imagine, the resistance I was having to, one, plan a party, and then two, make a list and think, who in the world am I going to invite? But you know what? I did it. And my first party 3 weeks ago, we had 6 people at my house. And what's awesome is we enrolled a customer, and from that one party, we booked another party, which just so happened to be last Thursday. And last Thursday's party had 18 people at it. We went from 6 people 3 weeks ago. And because I booked a party from a party, I had 18 people sitting in my condo last Thursday. I look around my condo and I ask myself, where in the freak did they sit? And you could imagine, I'm walking around with hand sanitizer in everyone's hand, and I have my HIPAA air filter everywhere, and I'm opening up the windows and stuff. I didn't even plan to have that many people there. And I'll be truthful with you, having me and two other brand partners, so a total of 3 brand partners, 15 guests, that was a lot, right? The perfect size is 3 to 5. That 6 was a perfect size too. And the only reason that happened, the only reason I was able to have that party with 18 people, mixing and mingling, having wine, nibbling on stuff, and guess what? Booking 3 other parties from that party. So it's doing the very thing that the system teaches us. I too show up to these calls and I'm a student, and to see the momentum that has built from that, you guys, I feel rejuvenated. I feel like I'm a brand new baby brand partner all over again. And I've been here for freaking 9.5 years. Why? Because I have a pocket of baby new brand partners who are unjaded, who have no idea what in the world they are doing. All they know is that they're excited about their future and their goals, and they've got a fresh list of people that we can share these amazing products with so that they can get results just like the hundreds and thousands of customers who have gotten results over the last 10 years of us being in business. So if you ever feel like, gosh, what do I do to move forward? A big part of me, like I've said on calls in the past, is I want you to go look at the 90-day playbook, right? Go look at the 90-day playbook and look at the activities that are broken up into daily, weekly, and monthly activities. A lot of people are like, oh, well, okay, what about social media? You guys, I have the social media tracker printed. I have this in my to show active, but I literally have probably 50 plus pages of this printed that I have been checking off. Every day an alarm goes off in my phone saying, hey, did you send out your happy birthdays? Every day I have a little reminder saying, hey, did you do all the things you needed to do to make sure that that party was a success? And guess what? Yes, we had 15 people at the party, and that in its own self was a big win in my book, right? Like many of you, if you had a party, would you consider it a big win if you had 15 people there? Yes. But I will tell you, I would consider myself a 30%, maybe a 50%. I'll give myself a 50% grade on that whole experience. Because truth be told, I had 15 people at my house, but have all 15 guests been properly followed up with? Did all 15 people that come that didn't enroll get offered a sample or a way to plug into another exposure, knowing that people need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 exposures before they make a decision to say yes onto the business side, right? Yes, I got 15 people here to my living room, but that's a small percentage of the iceberg. Everything else underneath is, did I move those people from one exposure to the next exposure? Did I get them the samples? The people that, that did enroll as a brand partner, did I get them to book a party, to post their own party like we did at my house? Did I make sure that those people that ordered the product received their product and that they know how to properly use it and join the 90-day Get Real Results Program challenge? Do you see how there's an opportunity for you to look far more under the surface and look underneath, right? Did I invite those couple brand partners that invited people to be a part of that party? Did I invite them to thank everybody that they invited? Did I get them to schedule their next party for themselves, so that way they don't stop in the motion of activity? Did I get them to follow up with the people that didn't show up to the party? Because yes, there's 15 people that were there, but imagine the plethora of people that didn't show up. So as you look at the iceberg and it's like, okay, did we get butts and seats? Yes, but did we do the fortunes in the follow-up? That's the part we all seem to miss sometimes. When I look over my career and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I hosted the party. Yes, I got people into that virtual event. Yes, I got people to come to a party, but did I do the actual tasks of the job, which is fortune being in that follow-up? And some of you may excel at it. Some of you may be rock stars at it, but this is my second party in 2 years in person at my own house. So there's a lot of refreshers that I'm getting for myself that I'm now sharing with you so that you can turn around and do it. Now, yes, I understand not everywhere has the same restrictions or the same comfortability to host a mini mixer. And if that's where it is for you and you can't do it yet, awesome. Kick some butt at the virtual stuff. Because I can tell you, I forever will live in this hybrid model of doing in-person parties because that's just my vibe. I love it. I love talking to people. I love answering questions. But I will also take advantage of the global expansion where you can reach more people and do the virtual parties through Facebook. And let's be real. I'm a very systematic dude, like you've heard me talk about before. So 3 weeks ago, I did an in-person party. 2 weeks ago, I did a virtual party, right? And then last week, again, I did an in-person party. So it's like, how can you get into like this rhythm? And now guess what? My new baby brand partners, that's the rhythm they know. They know in-person party 1 week. They know virtual party next week. They know an in-person party the next week. And like now there's that rhythm for them. And I can say, hey, congrats. Let's do one in your house in Long Beach. Let's do one in your house in Tustin. And now I'm building this wildfire here in my local backyard, which then I can say, hey, who do you know in Mexico? Who do you know in Canada? Who do you know in Australia? Who do you know in Pennsylvania? Who do you know in New Jersey? So like with this virtual party, like I'm just going to teeter-totter between the two, right? Virtual party, in-person party. And then my new brand partner got 2 new brand partners from that first party. And guess what? From this last Thursday party, her 2 new brand partners already have 2 new brand partners. That's what I call tap rooting. It's not going to just one brand partner. It's not recruiting to one person. It's recruiting through that person. It's hearing the trainings that we all plug into. It's hearing all this stuff, but it's executing on it. It's doing it and taking action on it. So here's what I want to do is I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions about the party side of it. If there's any questions you have about mini mixers or what I did or how I did my party, please raise your hand by clicking the raise hand emoji, or you can put it in the chat box for me. I want to give you guys an opportunity to answer or to ask anything mini mixer related. Leah says, what is the general format that you followed for the mini mixer? So my format's really simple. If the party starts at 7, I'm ready and set to go by 7 o'clock. I have a cute display of the products available and set up for people to see. I might have like a slideshow of like before and after pictures going on my TV camera or on my TV or on my laptop or on an iPad somewhere. And then when people walk in, you meet them, you say hello. I typically, joke around to people and I tell them that, I'm the hired wait and I'm the bartender, or that's what people bring me. It's like so I can pour them a glass of wine. And then I give people a hydrogel patch to put underneath one eye. And then we're just mixing and mingling. We're having some cheese. We're having some crackers. We're, just getting to know each other. Oh, you live around the area. Oh, you live across the street. Oh, you've lived here for 20 years. Me too, blah, blah, blah. So if people are to be here at 7:15, the absolute latest 7:30, we're off and running, right? We get everybody to grab their drink if they're ready. My lesson I learned, I have the most adorable dog ever. So I learned the second party around to put my dog away in the closet because he is a lot more entertaining to look at and listen to than me, right? When I'm doing the actual presentation part of it. And then when we get to go, the new brand partner typically thanks everybody for coming, lets them know how they heard about the product, what the results were, and why they're doing it. And then simply do a short, small edification to your expert. And then you if you're doing the presentation yourself, or if you're playing the video, you kind of transition to that. I like to use a PowerPoint video. So like it just kind of lists out, I'm sorry, a PowerPoint presentation. I like that it just lists out what all the products are. And I put a ton of before and after pictures in there. They can see what it does on the screen. I'm passing around a couple pictures, or I'm displaying in the PowerPoint pictures, and then I'll just go around and I'll let them sample it. So it's just a full-on experience that I let people go through. I see someone asking, do you do prizes or giveaways? I do. I didn't do it these last 2 times, but you can do, when people come, they, for attendance, they get a ticket in the hopper, or in like a raffle of some sort. Towards the end, if you have an expert with you, or if you feel comfortable or confident to answer questions for people, you can do, hey, every question you ask, you get a ticket in the raffle or in the hopper as well. And what I found is that opens up people to be more engaged. And then I just start placing orders from there. And then once I've helped them either enroll online or I help them fill out the paper application, I will then at that point ask them to book a party. I'll literally pull out my schedule and I'll say, hey, why don't we do one of these for you? And I'll push them to do it at their house if I'm getting a little resistance. And since I feel comfortable, I just say, hey, I'm in a central location. Why don't we do it at my place again? Or, hey, I'm doing another one next Thursday or Wednesday. Why don't you invite people into that as well? I like to kind of create a little invitation for them. So that way they have like an example of what the invitation or the banner could look like. But so that should answer your question. Eve says, can this be done virtually? Yes, the whole thing can be done virtually. If you can connect your laptop to your TV through HDMI or through AirPlay, then you can have your expert zoom in, or you can have, somebody else be able to, be there with you in person. Or honestly, there's a ton of videos that are in Go Prospect that do a lot better job, and they do it a lot faster going through the products and the different programs available for that too. So, okay, I think we're all set. All right, I am proud of you all for being here. Again, I know there's a bunch of things that you could be doing, but you're here instead. If there's anything that you need, please do not in any way, shape, or form hesitate to reach out. Again, 9.5 years of doing this puppy, and I am freaking more fired up today. And I'll tell you what, it's because of a tip my mentor gave me many years ago. There's nothing 5 new brand partners cannot solve in your business. Have a fantastic Wednesday, everybody. Bye-bye.